What is up, YouTube? That's here, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys an absolutely amazing discussion video talking about Mamoswine, but more importantly, why Mamoswine hasn't actually seen that much competitive play in Pokemon Sword and Shield. As opposed to previous formats where it was one of the most aggressive, popular picks in pretty much every single format. VGC 2013, 2014, 2015, even 2018, where you can see this highlight from a super old video on my channel, is Mamoswine is a really popular Pokemon, or was a very popular Pokemon in previous formats. It had all the tools to be one of the Pokemon that excelled at pinning opponents and hitting them at their very weakest. It's one of the few Pokemon that is actually able to have good offensive and defensive typing as an ice type. Most of the time, ice types have abysmal defensive typing. I think the only other good ice types with like good defensive typing are like Lapras and Rotom. And I think Mamoswine being an ice ground makes it so it's immune to those big electric attacks, and it actually can work in Sandstorm teams too, because of that ground typing makes it able to hold focus sashes. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Today we're going to be talking about Mamoswine and how it's not really the Pokemon itself that isn't really as good in Sword and Shield. I think it's more so that the players that play Mamoswine, forcing Mamoswine to be used as it used to be used in previous formats, just isn't going to work in Sword and Shield. And so hopefully by the end of this video, I'm going to be able to convince you guys to actually go and hit the lab with Mamoswine and see what you can get done. I want to direct you guys to the question of the day. You guys can answer it whenever you feel like, and that is, do you guys actually think Mamoswine has what it takes to be used in competitive play? A lot of the old Mamoswine sets, like these Scarf sets, the old Sash sets, a lot of those don't really work when you factor in Dynamaxes and other changes to speed mechanics, as well as a few other things. But I want to know if you guys think what Mamoswine has, if you guys actually think it can be used in competitive play. I'm going to be giving away a bunch of Swineups in our Discord as well. You guys can join our Discord. There's a link to that in the description of this video. Please check that out. Answer the question of the day. Now let's get right into this. Now Mamoswine, for those of you guys who don't know, is one of, like I said, the most popular Pokemon for just slapping on your team and succeeding. It has multiple top cuts. It actually was on the World Championship winning team in 2013 was built around Mamoswine, if I believe. Arashimati made a team around Mamoswine, and it was super good. One cool thing that Mamoswine can do that a lot of other Pokemon can't is that it gets that big, huge stabbed earthquake, but again, it's like an ice type. So you can go for those big EQs. You could then pair Mamoswine with like a Zapdos or a Rotom and go for this big discharge. So EQ discharge used to be a really popular core back in the day. That's really what Mamoswine excelled at. You could also hold sashes and make it so it wouldn't lose its sash in sand. That's also a really important mechanic for older formats. But fast forward now, like, why is it that Mamoswine, isn't really that good? If you think about it, Mamoswine should have been amazing in Sword and Shield. It actually has an ability that a lot of people don't know that it has, and that's Oblivious. And for those who don't know, Oblivious was changed in Sword and Shield to make it so it's not only like attracts and taunts that it avoids, it also avoids intimidates. So Mamoswine should have been, by all rational like ways of thinking, able to be absolutely amazing in Sword and Shield. Like, the only way to stop Mamoswine before was intimidating it. Why isn't it good now? I think the main reason why Mamoswine isn't as good now, it's because the Pokemon that Mamoswine was good at checking and the situations in which you use Mamoswine for the old way to use it just don't really exist anymore. What Pokemon do you guys think Mamoswine has KO'd the most throughout the history of competitive play? Maybe I'll let you guys answer some comments, but historically, it's the dragons, it's Garchomps, it's Salamences, other Pokemon that have those big ice weaknesses, like Landorus, Those Pokemon aren't really in the game. A lot of the dragons in this game, like Dragapult, Haxorus, Goodra, for example, a lot of those Pokemon don't have that 4 times ice weakness, so there's not really a reason to run Mamoswine with the Ice Shard to KO those Pokemon. Another thing that Mamoswine really excelled at was going for those big pins. Like, you'd come in, you'd bring a Mamoswine in, pin it against something that has like those big weaknesses, and from there they'd either have to switch it and take massive damage, or just leave it in and get KO'd. Now, with the addition of Dynamaxing and all of the additions of redirections, with a bunch more Pokemon getting access to Ally Switch, it's a lot harder to pin your opponent. And Mamoswine, while it has that 130 base attack, it doesn't have enough attack to just one-shot Dynamaxes, even with super effective moves, unless you have like a damage multiplier like a Choice Band or a Life Orb. Now you could say, that's why don't you just Dynamax your Mamoswine as well? If you're Dynamaxing your Mamoswine, you're losing your Choice Band, you're losing your Choice Scarf, which again, you don't have that speed as an 80 base speed Pokemon to solo carry the game. Now Mamoswine getting Oblivious was a buff. I think also Thick Fat is still very good on Mamoswine. It makes it so its bunch of weaknesses can be made to be minimized just a bit. Really weakens that fire weakness, makes that neutral damage. But I think Mamoswine has a bunch of untapped potential that a lot of other Pokemon don't have. Those weaknesses that it has might actually be able to be used into a strength. It's a ground ice. It has weaknesses to fire, steel, fighting, freaking grass, water. There's so many weaknesses that I think a perfectly EV trained Mamoswine that's used on a team with a weakness policy. I think weakness policy Mamoswine actually has potential to use in this format. And that goes into my next point, and that is, I think the way that players like to use Mamoswine, you know, like the scarf sets, the sash sets, the I mean, even the life orb sets. I tried a lot of vested Mamoswine earlier on in the season, and it just didn't really work. I think the old way of playing this Pokemon just isn't going to work. Us people with our boomer mentality try and forcing, you know, ways to play old Pokemon and making them new. I just don't really think that's going to cut it anymore. I think we have to, you know, innovate and try to actually change the way the Pokemon is played. I think the Oblivious is a really cool change, but I think the days of just running vested Mamoswine and solving all your problems just isn't really going to do it anymore. And I challenge you guys to come up with your own Mamoswine spreads. Maybe you guys can leave those in the comments below. If you guys have any really cool ways to run this Pokemon, I am down to try it out. So like I said, I'm going to be giving away some Swinubs in my Discord. If you guys want some high IV Swinubs, I'm going to be giving those in my Discord probably around the time this video goes live over the next few days. Definitely join the Discord. It's completely free. But yeah, Oblivious and Thick Fat, I think there's a bunch of potential there. There's some really good potential for what is that other thing that I was just talking about? The weakness policy sets. I just want to know what you guys think of Mamoswine. Like I said, this wasn't supposed to be a super long video, but I just want to say that like Mamoswine's a Pokemon that I think deserves a lot of potential, and going into the Isle of Armor DLC, I think Mamoswine has the potential to be even better. Let's talk about some Pokemon that are coming back in the Isle of Armor. Pokemon that are coming back in the Isle of Armor, two really important ones are going to be Luxray and Crocodile. Those are going to be really, really big intimidators. Remember how I said we got Oblivious as an ability on Mamoswine, make it so we're immune to Intimidate? Well, that's pretty good because Mamoswine has super effective moves against both those Pokemon who historically have below average defense and take those big damage from Earthquake. So I think with the addition of the Isle of Armor, we can start to see a rise in Mamoswine usage. If you actually look at a lot of the Pokemon that are going to be out in that format, Mamoswine's pretty decent against a lot of them. I know there's a lot of like water Pokemon, but those can be mitigated through the use of like Gastrodon and other things. So I just want to know, let me know what you think of Mamoswine. Let me know if you think Mamoswine has what it takes to be used in competitive play. And also, I think during this week, we're probably going to be doing some Mamoswine team building. So maybe when this video goes live, who really knows, we might be streaming some Mamoswine team building from scratch. I know you guys said you want to see a lot more team building on this channel. And I think just once a day, I might just fire up the stream for an hour, pick a Pokemon that the chat says they want to see, and just try and make a team from absolute scratch. Let me know if you guys have any really good Mamoswine partner ideas, if you have any good Mamoswine tech in the comments below. Hopefully you guys have an absolutely wonderful day, and you can see on the screen right now, this Mamoswine absolutely dumpster in that Mawile back in the day. See it, Z-Move Mamoswine, another Mamoswine set that used to be super good that just doesn't really work anymore. And I feel so bad because this Pokemon is like really, really good. Let's see. Okay, we gotta win this game, right? I have to win this game just to exert dominance, right? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. I mean, VGC 2018 was like the last time that Mamoswine used to be good. 2013, it was super good. Won the World Championships. 2014, it was the biggest check to Double Dragon, like Garchomp Salamence. And then 2016, it was not hot because that was a newer format. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for watching. I know it's a super short video today. Let me know what you guys think of Mamoswine. I will see you guys next time. Peace out.